It's compelling, it's cutthroat, it's chaotic, it's clever, it's controversy and chaos, baby.
Controversy
We're
and
here.
chaos. Here we are.
Mm-hmm.
That's the intro. That's what I got.
Honestly,
Do we need to debrief?
About what?
I don't know if there's any debriefing that needs to happen. I need to know before we get into the shits for the real topic of today.
I have nothing.
Yeah, no. I have nothing.
All right, cool. Nothing. Good. Yeah, I don't think I have anything either. I don't think I got nothing.
Nah. No pleasantries. Yeah, no.
Nah, let's just cut to the shit.
Your week.
So, but I want to just basically I want to know what y'all requirements are for marriage. Or let me not even just say marriage, because I understand that everybody necessarily doesn't want to quote unquote get married. But if you are going to make a lifetime, long-term commitment to somebody, I think that there are certain things that a couple should go through and experience before making such a lifelong commitment to the other person. And I want to know what y'all's are.
So for the audience out there, thing.
Yes, for the audience out there, this is going to be kind of like a two-part thing. So you're just going to have to keep up and bear with us, okay? Because I feel like it's either it's very extreme when it comes to like relationships, marriage. It's like you either have a group of people that are just like, fuck that, I don't want to be married at all, 100%, don't want it, don't want no commitment, I don't want no long-term shit, stay the fuck away from me type shit. Or you have people who want to get married and want that long commitment or whatever. Mm-hmm. But I think that there's some kind of like a disconnect, because I think a lot of people just want to say that they're married, or they have a husband, they have a wife, rather than actually having a marriage. Or people jump too quickly into things and then be like, oh, fuck it, why the fuck did I do this? I actually do not like this person like that. So now we on that D train and we gotta go. We gotta separate.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I want to know, like, especially like being that, you and I are already married, Sierra, and you, Michelle, you have expressed that that's your hope. That's what you want. That's the end goal. So what are your requirements? And not necessarily your requirements for your partner, but your requirements for yourself, that, okay, I need to check these boxes off and make sure I'm good in these areas and I'm comfortable within myself, also with my partner, before I say I want to be 100% committed to this person for the rest of my life.
Before Michelle goes, I will say that I'll give you some time to marinate on that question, because it's very loaded. And I think obviously my situation is a little bit different, because when I met Matt at 19, did I know for sure that that was going to be the person that was going to marry? No. But very early on, I did know that, like, okay, this is a guy that has potential. You get what I'm saying? And I think it's okay to date somebody based on their potential, depending on your age and the situation. You get what I'm saying? But once he actually like proposed, in my mind, like literally the next day, not even the next day, at our like engagement like party that we had at the apartment when we was all lit, I literally pulled this man to our bedroom and I was like, are you serious? Are you really ready for marriage? Do you really think this is what you're trying to do here? And he's like, you're drunk, we'll talk about it tomorrow. I'm like, I'm so serious. And because in my mind, I'm like, oh yeah, marriage. And I was like, whoa, marriage. Whoa. So the next day, we literally, like, I'm pretty sure half of our friends was in our living room, like passed out, still sleeping. But we were in our room and we're talking. I'm like, yeah, I feel like we still have a little bit of work to do. I think we're ready for marriage almost, but there are certain things that I like wanted to like really kind of figure out. Like for me, just figuring out like the type of marriage I wanted, like realistically, like, yeah, you think you're when I become a wife, I'm gonna do this, and the third, but it's most time it's not realistic things and it's very on the surface. So like immediately I went into, okay, what type of wife do I want to be? What type of mother do I want to be? What type of marriage and household do I want to be? And how am I going to actually get there? And I think every day it's like, kind of steps, because you're never going to be like exactly where you want to be all the time. Figuring out what is ideal for you, your partner, and like the type of lifestyle y'all want to have. And I know like with me, when we were dating, even though we lived together, there were very clear cut boundaries in my mind within our relationship. Like, yeah, we're boyfriend and girlfriend, but I don't want to depend on you because we're just boyfriend and girlfriend. Like, I'm not going to ask you for certain things. Like, if I'm going without, I've never gone without, but I'm saying like if I'm struggling in an aspect, maybe even financial, even if I knew that like, oh yeah, Matt would be able to help me if I wanted to do this, that, and the third, I'm not going to ask you because you're my boyfriend and that's not your responsibility as a boyfriend at this stage in our relationship. So I feel like for me, it was different because we were young adults. So I think my perspective on that might be different if I was this age dating to be married. So that's why I added that little tidbit.
Yeah.
But for me, I know why I am the way that I am regarding like not wanting to be dependent on a person. And I don't care what anyone says. When you're married, you are dependent on the other person. Everything you do, every move you make has to do with that other person, and it affects the other person. And I've never been a dependent person emotionally. So to kind of like shift my mindset to be okay with being emotionally dependent or open and vulnerable with another human being, let alone a man, like letting down those boundaries. Cause like I really feel like in marriage is not really that many boundaries. You get what I'm saying? So I had to like get into my mind like, okay, you are this way and you know that you're this way. Why and how do you fix it? So I feel like for me, most of my issues stem from having daddy issues. And it's like, okay, like, no, I don't need to depend on a man for nothing. Not because I feel like men aren't reliable. Well, it's questionable. But, you know, so it's like just those different things I had to like really like have a come to Jesus moment with myself. Like, okay, how are you going to show up as like the wife that you want to be and the wife that you know this man wants if you have these walls and guards and lack of vulnerability? How are you going to do that? So I think that was like the main thing for me that I had to kind of like shift and fix before May 29th, 2021 came up. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. Yeah. But overall, for me, that's what I had to do. But I think looking at a man to say like, okay, I know he has potential to be a good husband and a good father, for me was one, Matt's like dedication and drive. Like it doesn't matter what it is. It's like if he sees something, he's going to make it a goal and figure out how to get it. So that leadership aspect that I would look for in a man, he had those qualities throughout our relationship. Not saying he was always the most mature, because I mean we were teenagers, but you can still see those certain qualities in a person. So I feel like the aspect of like being a leader was like something that was important to me, and someone that was dependable and that had potential and like saw their life a certain way that I saw mine, and knew that we would have, you know, similar ways to kind of get to where we wanted to be and willing to sacrifice certain things. So I think that hopefully that answers the question. Does that answer the question, Zara? I just said a lot.
Kinda.
That's what I'm saying. It's so complex. Like what exactly? I don't know.
So like I'll give you, I mean, those are all good things because you have to talk about like the internal things within yourself of what it is that, what it is really that you want overarching out of your relationship, out of your marriage. And like I think we talked about on the last episode, is just really like, how do you show up in your own fucking problems? So it's just like a lot of times it's not so much like when it comes to actually being married, where it's a lot about someone else. It's really about how you show up, how you respond. A lot of things are things that you have to work on and know about yourself and actively work to change. Highlight the positive things as well. It's not all just negative, but you know, and going forward, how y'all gonna move as a unit? Because I'm of the mindset like marriage doesn't work when, or I think like when people say the term like equally yoked, I think that people have a misconception of what that actually is. It doesn't mean that we're like-minded or we're exactly the same in all of the same areas. No, that doesn't work, because I feel like in those instances, those people will be divorced. Because you can't have two people who are financially, like, the money shit, we got that on lock, but two people who also can't fucking communicate. So it's like, yeah, we're strong in all of these same areas, but the areas that both of us fucking suck, we both suck.
Yeah.
So how can the other person help the other person? How can I pull you up? How can I do all of these things if we're only on the same page and on track in the exact same areas? I think when you're equally yoked with someone, it's like the areas where I'm not the strongest, my partner is stronger in those areas. So my partner can also come in and help me. If I'm the more financially sound person and I understand how money works, okay, cool, you can handle that area. But if my partner is a much better communicator than I am, when situations come up, when communication is necessary, they're going to work overtime to kind of bring in that balance that we have to be able to communicate through this. I got to get you to talk to me. I got to get you, to kind of help you in those areas until it becomes like a natural thing. So I think that's really, for me, when I think of, like, when people say equally yoked, that's what it means. We can't be walking both of us on the left side. No, we need one person on the right, one person on the fucking left. So we can go, one is the right leg, one is the left leg. So we can keep going in the same thing. We both got two left legs, baby. We going in a circle. And that's not going to work.
Oh, yeah.
So I think just like that. But even outside of that, I mean, just like little shit. Like, I feel like all couples should live together before they get married. Like, you need to live with that person, because when you're used to having your own space, I could leave at any fucking time that I want. I could get up and go home and be like, okay, I'm tired of being over here. I want to go be in my own quiet space. All right, boom, I could go back to my place.
It's so much easier to walk away.
It's so much easier. It's so much easier to walk away when you don't live with that person. It's when there's when there's an argument or there's anything that comes up, it's like, if we're not in the same space and we're not forced to have to be in this shared space, I can peace out. I'm out of here. It's a lot easier to do. So I think that, outside of, just like shit that may come up, like, arguments or whatever, you may move in with somebody and be like, nigga, you nasty. And like, oh, no. Because, when somebody is inviting someone over, you're going to spruce it up. You're going to clean your shit up. You're going to throw everything in a cabinet, whatever it means. You're going to get the shit clean because you want to impress that person. But now when it's like, this is my everyday. But it's like, when this is your everyday space, this is how I wake up. I don't do laundry. I don't make the bed. I don't do all of these different things. Okay. You got to see what you're working with. If you are a neat freak, that shit is going to piss you off and it's going to bother you. Can y'all deal with that?
Yeah. Like, more so, how? Not even can you? Because most of the time, Matt still does stuff that drives me insane that I cannot deal with. But I've learned to figure out how to be like, yo, what's the point of you? Like, I don't understand you. You want to lay on the couch, and as soon as you lay on the couch, you have to take off your socks. Not only do you take off your socks, you lay them on the floor next to the couch. And then now there's just a pile of socks next to the couch. Why? I don't understand that. Why are you even wearing socks? What's the point of socks? Get you some slippers. Like, what?
Yeah, so it's just,
we in a house.
Yeah, so it's just like, even things like that, you start to notice things about your partner. There's going to be things that are going to fucking irritate you. Yeah. And it's like, okay, now, how I'm about to deal with this, because you're really pissing me off.
And people really think that, like, the biggest issue is leaving the toilet seat up. I'm like, that has never been an issue for me. Like, my thing is, any normal human, before you flush a toilet, the lid should be down anyway. So why is the toilet seat up? Who flushes the toilet seat without the lid on it? That's dirty.
But it's just like,
I don't think about that.
That is so disgusting. I cannot flush the toilet with the toilet seat up. The freaking the flushing, the water, it comes all over the place. Now, next thing I know, the toilet juice is on my toothbrush and on my countertops. I can't do it. Put the toilet seat down and then flush the toilet. Like, that's just common sense.
I've seen worse. I've seen people just not flush the toilet and you take a shit. Like, now I gotta open that up and hold my breath because I never know what I'm gonna open up this.
No, absolutely not.
Yeah, talking about wanting to shoot myself.
What? Yuck. Yuck.
Yeah. I've heard people say if it's
I
yellow,
will hope that's not fucking happening.
Mellow, whatever, but
let it mellow. If it's brown, flush it down. But nah.
No, and it'd be brown and it don't go down, so I'm confused. Yeah, never again.
But I just say all that to say a lot of times people think about living with their significant others. They think about like the toilet seat being up or stupid stuff like that, and it's like, no, when you see somebody in their day-to-day life and how they operate, it just gives you another perspective of them as a human. Like, what do they do when they wake up in the morning?
Why are there cups all in my house everywhere?
How do they brush their teeth? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
I think it's so funny because I always think about like some of the little stuff that I do, and I'd be like, you really gotta like not do this when there's a man around, because I am one of those people who brush their teeth and I brush my teeth with my mouth open.
Same. There be toothpaste everywhere.
Yeah. So once I'm done, I wipe my mouth. But then, like, you watch shows and people don't have all
that's because
that.
they're not brushing their teeth. That's fake.
It's not real.
That's acting. There is not real. Like, if you brush your teeth,
a man come in my life and be like, why does she have a toothpaste ring around her mouth?
Listen,
every time she brushes her teeth,
I would be like,
it get messy.
I would be like, well, at least the bitch got good oral hygiene. Okay, check.
And you not brushing your teeth.
Good.
Yeah, one thing about me, that water pick gonna be running. Gonna be all in the gums.
Yeah, so it's like those kind of little things. I feel like that's very like minuscule. Like, I don't care about how you brush your teeth. Now, if you did not brush your teeth, hello.
Oh my God.
That's a whole nother shit.
Yeah, what are we doing?
That's a whole nother thing. But even like, I feel like I'm the kind of person that I wear my stress on my face. I wear every emotion on I wear every single emotion on my face. So there's that. So if I'm having like a hard time, like whatever aspect of my life is stressing me, if it's like work or whatever, I bring that home. So because now I'm fucking stressed. I live here. When you live with a partner, now it's like, you can see how I act when I'm fucking stressed. Whereas if y'all separate, if y'all don't live together, that you can come home and be like, I'm just gonna be upset. I want to stew and sit and just drink my glass of wine or whatever and just have a fucking attitude. And then if you go over your main house, it's like, okay, now I'm happy. Now I get my attitude together because I gotta go over here. But when y'all live together, you can't do that. You can't take it off.
I'm gonna get moved down.
Yeah, it's like you can't take it off. Yeah. Now that person sees how you operate when there's external stressors. How are you going to respond to that? It opens up and gives the opportunity for everybody to continuously to still get to know each other in a way that you wouldn't. And I feel like that's really important before you take a major step like marriage, because it be the little things that I feel like sometimes people get divorced over the littlest shit. And it's like, you could have prevented that had y'all done this before. I also don't believe until waiting until marriage to have sex. Like, ride the ride, babes. Ride the fucking ride. Because like, I look at it like this. You go to an amusement park, right? There's a couple different kinds of attractions. There's the shit you get on and be like, nah, I will never get on that shit again. That shit fucked me up. I can't do that shit no more. You will know the next time you go to that amusement park, baby, you won't get on that ride. Now, will you? You didn't like it. You're not doing it. You have other ones that are like, oh, that was okay. It really, really like exciting. You're not going to do it again. But then you have that one ride that's just like, every time I come back to this park, I'm making it my business to get, I'm making it my business. I'm going to stand in that fucking 2-hour line. I'm getting on this fucking ride. People are the same. Why would you want to get married and be like, oh, I don't like you. Like, this shit was horrible. Yeah, but what if this shit was bad?
Okay, listen, hear me out. I feel like if there is still, okay, some people might not have like the best sexual chemistry. And some people might have good sexual chemistry, but the sex is not great. You understand what I'm saying?
That's
So
what
it's
I was
like the
about to
chemistry
say.
is there,
Mhm.
but once you're actually in the moment, for several different reasons, it might not be that exciting because either
Yeah.
one or both parties aren't as experienced or as
Mhm.
like open to do new and different things. And I feel like, yes, I agree. I definitely don't believe in that whole, hold your virginity, like let it go.
Mhm.
But I do think if that is something you believe in, that's fine. But I don't
Mhm.
think that you should be going to seek and marry somebody who is sexually experienced on a level that you're not prepared for. Like you can't, I feel like a man, if a man is dating a woman and she says, "Hey, I don't want to have sex until marriage," and he's used to being a nympho and in these streets, it's not gonna work because by the time y'all actually do the sex, he's gonna be like, okay, that was cool, but what, like, you get what I'm saying? I feel like equally yoked goes with so many different levels in your relationship, and then
Mhm.
sexually, I think you have to be equally yoked as well. If y'all both was some hoes, then cool. But if one was a super hoe and the other one wasn't a hoe at
Not
all,
super hard.
how's it like one is gonna clash, it's gonna clash.
Yeah.
So
I
I feel
don't
like,
think so
okay,
I feel like
though.
that makes,
no, I think so
yeah.
because
I feel like
yeah,
experience
because some
matters.
people it's like if you not just experience what you're willing and open to do, because even if you don't have a whole bunch of experience, because I haven't had a whole bunch of partners, but I feel like mentally you have to, you know what I'm saying? You have to mentally match your partner's energy, whether that's sexually or not. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Michelle,
Hmm.
why are you confused? Because
No,
think about it.
I'm not confused. I'm talking more so about the part of like somebody who's an info and somebody who just been chilling. Like I think that it could work.
No.
It might. It just. I think that if the
In the
chemistry is
beginning, but I'm
there, it
talking
would
about
work itself out.
longevity of
But
your
I think
relationship is
I
not going to
look at
work.
sex a lot differently than other people do. Like
In the
I am under the
beginning,
impression that lots of people have horrible sex lives because the way they talk about sex on social media. Like I just be like, ew,
but
y'all
I feel
gotta
like
have
that's
real
because a lot
partners.
of people aren't comfortable within themselves or their own bodies to even be sexual with a partner in the way
Right.
that would
Right.
make it enjoyable. So it's
And that's
like,
why I'm saying somebody who is not as experienced with other people doesn't mean that they're not in touch with their own body and able to navigate that later on.
well, no, when I
With
say
somebody
experience,
else.
I'm not talking about, oh, what's your body count? I'm talking about experiences, meaning what have you done, and what are you willing to do?
That's what I just said. Yeah. I'm saying just be that's why I'm saying I don't agree. Because just because that person hasn't been with like haven't had like partners who are also experienced doesn't mean that they can't get with somebody and have a great sex life. It might be like and I say that because they may be experienced with tapping into that on their own.
Yeah, but I
Like
feel
I
like if
don't think if I
someone's
picked
super
up
vanilla and they're dating somebody who's way more open, it's
mm,
gonna clash because it's gonna be like, why are you into this weird, freaky,
that,
nasty ass shit?
yeah,
Like,
Yeah. I
like
mean,
you know what I'm
I feel
saying?
yeah.
Like,
like
I guess
what you mean?
I get what both of y'all saying. Like it can
I'm
be
looking at it from
twofold. Like you can have
go
a
ahead.
person who is more vanilla but they're curious about all of these other
Yeah.
That's the difference. If the person's not curious,
Right.
then it's not gonna
yeah, so
work.
it's
Is
like,
what I'm
man, you can
saying.
have a partner
Right.
who is experienced in a lot of different areas. It's like, okay, well, I can teach this to you. Because I look at it like most people
Yes.
who be into BDSM is usually not both people. It's usually one person is into it and they kind of bring the other with them.
Yeah.
But that person that gets
Yeah.
brought along
Yeah.
Yeah.
has to be somewhat intrigued. It's like, I may have not done this before, but in the
Exactly.
back of my mind, I
Mhm.
want to try this. And I feel like when it comes to sex and having sex before marriage, or even if it's your belief that you should wait until marriage, I feel like the conversations need to be had.
Right.
Mhm.
Because it's just like, okay, if
Yeah.
let's just say people get married, because there are situations you have a person that's a virgin all the way up until marriage, and then you have a person they're with someone who is
Mhm.
not a virgin. I think, Sierra, you basically kind of said the same thing.
Mhm.
The person who's not a virgin, who's already explored sex in a way, they're going to have their imagination is going to run wild of what they feel like it's going to be like.
Mm-hmm.
Then when they actually do it, it's like, this did
Mhm.
not live up to what I thought it was going to be in my head. Now
Mhm.
it's
Exactly.
automatically
The
an issue.
The weight,
Yeah, like now it's
it wasn't worth
yeah,
the
it's
weight.
like now it's an issue, and it's like, damn, I waited, and this shit was mad regular. Like, like I don't like this. I feel
Mhm.
like that causes a mismatch, and it already starts off the marriage with like a stain on it.
Tension.
Yeah, it's already
Yeah.
an issue, which can be a major issue. It's already
Mhm.
there. So I feel like you have to kind of have those conversations about, if you're not going to do it,
And
have
that's
those
why-
conversations about sex. But there are also
Mhm.
different instances where if you're married to a person and you're trying to be with this person long term, to have the concept in your mind that, oh, we're just always going to have like 100% top tier sex life for the dawn of time, that's unrealistic.
Mhm.
How is your partner going to respond?
Mhm.
How is your partner going to handle that? If y'all are living together and it's of
Mhm.
course like, we just started living together, so we fucking every day. It's like, okay, well now once we get more comfortable, and it's like
Yeah,
other
stop.
factors start to come in. It's like, okay, now we're not doing it every day. It may be like once a week. Maybe, other external
Mhm.
shit is going on, because men and women are fundamentally different, especially in this department. We're
Yeah.
just different. So it's just like, okay, if you go without sex for a month, let's just call it a month. How's your partner going to respond to that? What is your partner's going to do? Are they immediately going to go out and try to seek their needs elsewhere? Or is it like, okay, we got to figure out what the hell's going on? Are they going to be the type to want to have a conversation about it, to try to, do some deep diving to figure out what the hell's going on? Or are they automatically going to be like, I'm out of here. I got to go to the next bitch, and this is just what it's going to be.
I'll do you one better. Think about this. A lot of times women don't get upset, but a lot of times women will use their body as a punishment to the man, to be like, all right, because you pissed me off and this, and that, and the third, I'm going to now withhold the box. What is that going to do? And how's he going to respond? Why are you even doing that? But you get what I'm saying.
I think in different contexts, I think I feel like if I'm upset, I'm not in the mood to have sex. So is it petty, or is it just like I have a natural reaction to my stress?
It's different between like, oh yeah, I'm just not really in the mood, in a sexual mood, versus, oh, you did something that pissed me off, and even though I probably do want to have sex with you, I'm going to withhold it as a punishment. There's a difference.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I was just making sure that we were clear.
We're not talking about just like not wanting to have sex at all. That's two different things. If you're just not in the mood for whatever reasons, because it can be a whole host of different reasons.
It could have nothing to do with the man in the first place.
It could be 100,
or just your day. Like, I'm tired or whatever. There's a difference. But I'm saying we as women sometimes will weaponize sex.
Yeah, I think in doing that also lets me know that you are not the best communicator, because you could literally just talk about your problems. And that's why I feel like there are some people who are really just not ready for it. Take marriage out of it. You're not ready for a relationship, because if you understand that and I hate putting it like this, because I know that like it can be controversial, but like, yes, people need affection. People need physical touch. I literally don't know how people live alone and don't have external relationships with people that actually care about them and want to like hold their hand or something like that. I don't understand people like that, because those are essential needs. And so if you're in a relationship with somebody and they're used to being able to, like, be affectionate towards you, and you're withholding affection, I feel like that's low-key abuse. No matter how you try to spin it, like, you're abusing your partner.
Low-key manipulation too.
If it's not a matter of I'm having a hard time, right? Like, I'm depressed, and of course I'm not in the mood, and you just like, no, I'm not doing it because I'm gonna dangle something over your head. It's just like, that's weird to me. And I don't know if I use weird too much as a way to express my feelings, but I just think it's so like not even juvenile. It's just like,
it happens
just
though.
don't be with the person.
It happens though, but I think that, like, obviously it's just how people respond to certain things. And that's my thing, to go back what Teray was saying about how will the man respond? Like, are you going to go out and be like, well, shit, I got some hoes on my roster that be want to eat pasta and lobster anyway, so let me go sneak off and do that and then come back? Or are you going to have a conversation about it? Or like, how I feel like when you live together,
right,
it shows you these different sides of people and how far they're willing to go versus how far you're willing to go or respond.
I think if I was living with my partner and he was like, yo, she doing something that's pissing me off, I'm just not gonna have sex with her, I'd be like, well, this is awkward. Like, I think it would translate to me in different ways. Like, now I'm like, are you even attracted to me? And that's why I think that's a matter of communication, because if you're upset at something or you're not feeling something I did, just like withholding affection that's like not the answer. We could talk about it. Like, let's get past it. You know, we could still be mad a couple days later, but like, at least we talked about it. We understand, and whatever the situation, it changes. And if not, if we can't get to that point, perhaps we need to pull in some extra reinforcement. I just feel like in any situation, friendship, relationship, I think that like withholding something that you know is like an important part of the relationship is just, that's not the answer to anything. Like, you got too much ego, and in love, I don't think that you shouldn't have ego, pride, and all of that stuff. I think that it should take a back seat for your partner, though, in some cases.
But do you think that people who have two different like love languages can coexist together?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think lots of people are in relationships and have different love languages. Like, perhaps mine isn't physical touch, right? And my partner loves physical touch. He needs his hand held. I love you, so I'm going to do things that, you know, matter to you. I might struggle through it, but like, also my expectation is that you meet me halfway in understanding. Like, it's not going to always be these grand gestures of physical affection, but I also have to take into consideration. I think it's easy to be selfish and be like, well, you know, I don't like that. So very easy. I can say that because I've been single for like 5 years. So a lot of the things I know are going to be difficult for me to ease into. Like, I might meet somebody who is like, no, I don't think I'll ever meet somebody who'd be like, oh no, I don't do, I don't do like words of affirmation. Actually, yes, great example. I was actually like dealing with somebody who they were just like, well, you know how I feel about you, you know, like, I love you, like, and they waited until it got to the bitter end and there was no more to be expressive in all of those ways. And I'm like, this is what I wanted this whole time. I needed this. I don't need this just when we are at a breaking point. I need this all the time. But also, it was up to me to decide if I was okay with not having that need fulfilled. That is more important to me than somebody buying me gifts.
Exactly.
And I think that, but that
being,
to that point,
reaffirming.
When you're dealing with somebody who doesn't have the same love language as you, it makes you have to be more self-aware and thoughtful, because I think it's really dumb to have the idea like, oh, I'm going to love them the way I want to be loved. We don't want to be loved the same way. So I'm going to love the person the way they want to be loved. Like, for me, like, Matt and I do not have the same love languages. I think there might be a little bit overlapping here and there, but not really. So it's like, you have to be a little bit more like cognizant, like, okay, have I done this lately? I know this is something that he likes. You get what I'm saying? And I think that's the part where people think that marriage is hard, because you have to be considerate and thoughtful of someone else. And I'm not saying it's easy to do every day, because sometimes you wake up and just be like, oh, I didn't even think about it. But I think when you're choosing to be in a partnership, those are things you have to think about. It's easy to be like, oh yeah, we both have the same love language, I'm going to love this person how I want to be loved. That's easy, but it's not really realistic.
Yeah, I think that's like, I can say like from experience, like for me, that was the hardest part to kind of grasp and learn, because y'all know I'm not a touchy-feely person. I'm just not. Like, it's downright.
Why you had to?
Because it's downright. That's how I be feeling on the inside sometimes. It's like, oh, don't touch me. I don't like it. You know, but like literally, so sometimes I'll tell people like, I don't really I'm not like a touchy-feely kind of person. Like sometimes it'd be like, it's like, it's coming out physically. Like, I don't want you to fucking touch me. Don't do it. And it's across the board. It's everybody. Sometimes I'm like, please don't. Like, hey, how y'all doing? Like, I don't want to touch you. Just like when I meet, you know, like you meet a new person and some people like to hug and I'm like, whoa, I don't know you. Don't fucking hug me. I'm very much like that. Like we could say, hey, I don't got no problem. I just don't want you to touch me.
Hey, how y'all doing?
But it's just like, it was very difficult to kind of really grasp that concept that you have to love the other person the way that they want to be loved. Yeah. It's a very hard thing. And I think a lot of people struggle with it. It's because it's not easy, because really nobody teaches you that. It's like, okay, I know this about myself, and I know this is how I like to be loved. So I could tell you this is what I want. But it's easier to just like show your love from your perspective. Like, I am a gifts girl. Everybody, I love the things. And it's just not like, you know, like physical things. Like, oh, you got me a coffee. Like, oh, thank you. I really like that. You got me flowers. You got me this. Like, my poor little orchid. I kept it alive for a month. But I was so happy with this. Like, it was so cute. And it was like on a really, like, I was having a bad fucking day. A horrible fucking day. And then it was just on my desk. I'm like, I was so happy with this orchid. So I'm so mad at that. It's just like my office is just not the climate for an orchid.
So you need fake flowers in your office.
You need a fake orchid.
Yeah. No, orchids are sensitive. Whatever. Stay on task. But it's just like I like those little things.
The fact that you have to tell yourself to stay on task.
But it's like I like those. I like shit like that. It doesn't have to be, because I think sometimes like us who like gift giving, people think like, oh, like we're the materialistic people. Like we need these big grand things. It's like, no, the little things are very like, I love the little things. Like I have a Valentine's Day Reese cup heart. Reese cups is my favorite chocolate. That shit is probably going on 10 years old and I still have it. That shit, I don't even want to take it out the box. That shit's probably melted. It's probably molded. I don't fucking know, but I still have it.
Terry, what the hell? And you haven't even lived in the same
house.
No,
I have moved. I pack that shit up and I move it every time with me. I still fucking have it because it's like a sentimental thing. It means a lot to me. It's a little chocolate, but I love it.
I'm that way too with certain things. Like I'll never forget the first time I went on my 21st birthday, when we went on that trip to Miami. I was packing whatever, Matt was there with me packing and stuff, and then like I guess at some point when I was packing, he put like a little it was a card, like a heart, like a queen of hearts, something like that, and he wrote like a note on it and put it in my suitcase. I didn't notice it until I got to Miami. I'm like, what the hell is this card doing in my thing? And I saw his little note. I still have that, and that was how long ago? So stuff like that, I'm the same. I keep stuff like that
so
too.
I feel like
I would say also, I think when somebody else, love is so beautiful, but I think when somebody loves you in your love languages and it's a mutual agreement, and the other person is aware of your love languages and they're loving you in your love language, I think it just makes for a better experience because nobody lacks anything. Nobody is feeling like their needs are going unmet. Everybody's happy. I feel like that's how relationships should go. Like I think for me, I need that. Like I need somebody who is like interested in just loving me the way that I want to be loved, because Michelle, don't say it. I think that in general, I'm gonna make a general statement. I always go into things trying to do what Beyonce said in that song, make these the best years of your life. I remember everything. I pick up on details about people, and I'm just always doing like the small things that get overlooked because I know that means a lot to people. I know that those are sentimental things, and I'm a little dramatic, so I want the big effects. I want to do something and somebody be like, how did you know that? How did you remember that? I just want the same thing.
Yeah. And
that's it. I'll ask you.
Yes, but I think you kind of have to realize that also when you do things like that, you're also kind of putting out how you like to be loved out there as well, because you do that, you buy, you know, you do simple like little things, you pay attention and you pick up on things that people might not even want you to, you know, it's not even an expectation that oh, I just said it in passing, not really thinking about it. You pick up on those things and you doing something because you want X, Y, and Z kind of response. You want the response. You want them to be like, oh my God, thank you so much. How did you know about this? Like you like.
Well, no. I want the response because I want them to be happy. Like I'm saying, I like the big response because I like to see.
Yes, but you have to know that response.
I want them to be like
that response does something for you.
It varies.
At the same time, you are getting something out of that exchange because if they give you the big grand response, that feeds your needs at the same time. So it's just like if you don't get that response, then it's like, oh, do you fucking hate me? You don't like me, do you? You take it too far. And it just be like, no. But you have to just know that if you're going to do something that's for your partner in their love language, it has to be just that. It can't be like, oh, I want you to now immediately return my love language back to me. And it doesn't mean that person doesn't care or doesn't love you. But I think you do have to, you got to kind of separate the two. If I'm just going to do it, this is just for you. I don't need to get anything out of this. Now, if I do, great, but I don't.
No, I think that when I say that, I agree. I agree with what you're saying. I think I think of a specific instance of like me agreeing with a man for one time in my life. I always meet men who are like, I want to take care. I want to see other people happy. Other people being happy makes me happy. And I'd be like, God, that's beautiful. No. But I feel the same way. It makes me happy to see other people happy. Like, I bought somebody flowers. I bought a man flowers because his grandmother passed. Her birthday was on this specific day. I bought flowers on her birthday in her favorite colors and sent to him. And he texted me. He was like, "You don't know what this just did to me. Like, it really like helped pick my day up." He ain't FaceTime me and be like, "Oh my God, I love these flowers so much. I love you, Michelle." But just knowing that I helped you through a hard day, that was fine. I didn't need you to be like, to post the flowers and be like, yo, you know, shorty. I didn't need all of that. It was just knowing that I made your day better. That's it. That's a simple I love you without saying I love you to me.
Yeah. No, I need to hear that I love you. Tell me you love me now.
Okay.
Yes, that's very much so. But I mean, I say,
you know, I would say even genuine, like people just wanting to do stuff. So like I was just like standing outside my car talking. I pulled something out of my trunk and my trunk was a mess this day because I was like coming to New Jersey and the person was like, just come back around here later when you drop me off. I'll come clean the car up. And I'm like, no, I'm good. But like, thanks for thinking about it. Like, I would love for you to clean my car.
Okay,
but like, you don't have to do that.
And what I'm catching is a bitch. Let me love you. That's kind of what you need. You need a bitch. Let me love you.
Let me love you.
Like you can't say that. Oh, I want to be loved in X, Y, and Z kind of ways. And then when somebody does it, you're like, oh, bitch, don't love me. What, Uchi Wally or One Mic? What do you want? What do you want? And that's why I feel like this conversation, is so important because it's just like, okay, if you never thought about that, you need to go and do the self work to be like, why can't you receive this? That's for you. That's a conversation that should be had. You can't. No, you can't. Because if
you just told us 3 different times,
you did not receive it. Because if you could have received it, girl, the way I would have hopped over 10 curbs. You gonna clean my car out, baby? I mean,
y'all also know who I'm talking about, and y'all know why I didn't. It was just like a not right now, like
girl. Take
it's not about me today.
The service, like take it. If somebody is saying they're gonna do it, like. You have to let that person love you.
I struggle with the single woman, single mom syndrome. I can do everything by myself, but then I'd be like, oh, wish I had so much help. I know that's the problem. I will do everything by myself. I'll be like, I don't need it. And it's not like, oh, I'm trying to be militant or anything. It's just like, I'm just so used to Don't
But
want
do
it
you
on my
realize
own.
what effect that is going to have in a relationship?
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah,
No,
because I feel like
I'm
even for
aware. I
me,
know I
like
need to
acts of
stop.
service is definitely one of my love languages. But going
Yes.
back to that whole going from boyfriend and girlfriend to engaged thing, like Matt would always want to do things like, oh yeah, let me put gas in your car. Oh, let me go do this. Let me go do that. And it was always like, no, I got it. No, I got it. Because I had those boundaries. It's like not because, oh, I think you're incapable of doing it or you're not genuine, but it's like in my mind, I don't want to be feeling dependent or get used to you doing something and then out of nowhere you start retreating and letting me down. So
Yes.
that was me, and that's why I would always be like, no, it's cool, it's cool. But then it got to a point where it's like, how this man is trying to show you that he loves you and these are the things that he knows that you need. Let him assist you. And even I'm not gonna say like, oh, even now it's just so like, oh yeah, Matt, do everything. But like there's still certain times where he'll be like, oh, I can do this, and I'm like, oh no, like whatever. And it's like he'll just look at me and be like, take it. I'm like, okay, fine. Like it's a thing. It's a thing because you're so not you but me so used to being disappointed or someone overselling the product and then under delivering.
Yes.
And now I'm just like, fuck it.
Yeah, I mean,
what did I even get? What did I get excited for in the first place?
Yes, I don't want a cupcake phase. I don't want things to be so, oh my God. And these are the reasons why I'm like falling for you. And then it just be like, oh, had too many of those. I don't like, it be like, oh, you're actually a piece of shit.
But I mean, eventually you're gonna have to figure that out. Like I equate that to like your level of trust. Like, yes, you can trust the person. Like, I don't trust that you're gonna do no stupid, like grimy shit to me. But if I say that, okay, being in a relationship with someone, being in a marriage with someone, I really require a person that is going to take care of me, that is going to provide for me. That requires me to have a certain level of trust that, okay, I'm telling you, this is what I need. You're trying to do that now. You have to put the ball in their court. You got to relinquish that control. Okay, you say you're going to put gas in my car. Okay, go fucking do it. Now, if it comes a time where you keep saying, oh, I'm going to put gas in your car, I'm going to put gas in your car, and then I get in the car the next day and I got to go to work and nigga, I got 2 miles in the fucking tank. Now we got a problem because you're showing me that I can't trust what you said. But you kind of have to give people the opportunity to do what they say they're going to do. Instead of just,
but I think it's difficult to do that when you've experienced the opposite so much in life. It's hard to give somebody that rope to hang,
hang themselves up. Yeah, like, I definitely get that.
It's hard to relinquish.
It's an overtime kind of thing. It's like, okay, you can recognize that within yourself. Like, I don't trust what you're saying because I've had all of these different experiences that have shown me that I cannot trust what you're saying. But at the same time, for you, it's like, okay, I got to give you a little bit of rope. I'm going to give you, here's your trial period. This your 30-day free trial. Let's see what you do with this. Okay, cool. Exactly. I like this product. I can give you a little bit more and a little bit more. But it's like, it's a control piece that we have to learn to let go of the control, even if it's little by little. And that person, your partner has to be willing to keep chipping away at the wall that you have built up. It's like, okay, they're chipping away at it from their point. I'm slowly taking it down from my point. Eventually, we going to meet in the middle. And now we good. Now I can say, okay, I trust my partner 100%. I don't wake up any day and worry that, damn, my partner's not going to provide for me. And that does not have to be just like a financial thing. Like, he's going to provide for me mentally, emotionally. Yes, financially, you're going to provide for me as well. Like, here, I know 100% and I trust this 100% because we've done the work to work on it.
Exactly. And that brings it back full circle to the whole conversation about having those experiences and difficult conversations before marriage. I feel like for me, that transitional period from boyfriend to fiance was what really solidified, like, okay, yeah, no, all the potential I thought this man had, he's living up to it. So let me let him live. Like, this is it. So I think if we didn't live together or go through certain life experiences together, I don't know if I would have arrived there the way that I did.
Yeah, I think for like me and Colin, we moved states. We moved states. It's me and him.
Yeah.
That's it. That's it. So it was just like it did kind of have like, you gotta have those hard conversations. You gotta go through periods of like, I don't know if I really like you right now. But it's like, okay, what do you do in those moments? How do you work on it? Because
how do you
Can
respond?
I ask a question about that? I have a question. How do you feel about like moving fast? Because like I don't think y'all move like particularly fast, right? But from saying, okay, and we laughed about this in the last episode, okay, we're not friends, we're in a relationship, to okay, well, I'm about to move together. Like, how did you, what were your thoughts of like, okay, let's just do this?
Like moving states. Well, initially, like we moved in together.
No,
after
moving
like
together,
6 months.
living together, period.
So,
States.
we moved to.
Yeah.
Some people
would say that. Yeah, some people would say.
Like, how did you make that decision?
Yeah. It was just kind of like, okay. I really don't have like an answer. It was kind of just a feeling. Like he initiated us moving in because we moved in 6 months earlier than we were supposed to. We were gonna move in and like, okay, the original plan was like we started dating in June. Like, okay, we'll at least be together for a year and then we'll move in with each other. But when he was just like, we should move in together, I just was like, okay. But for me, that's I kind of felt like I knew he had the potential at that point to lead me anywhere in life. And I trusted him, with that. So it was like, okay, I'm going to say yes, because I could have definitely stayed at home. And granted, nobody wants to leave college because you have all of this freedom and they were like, okay, now I got to go home. I could have stayed living with Sierra. Like, I had other options. So it wasn't just like, oh, I was just running to like, oh, I need to find a place to live. Hey, you need somewhere to live. I need somewhere to live. So let's just live together. It wasn't that kind of situation. I definitely had options of what I wanted to do. And it was just like, okay, cool. Let's do this. Even 6 months in, it was just like, okay, of course. Like we only been together 6 fucking months. We're going to have issues. It's now, okay, what are we going to do with these issues? Even moving to a different state, him moving to Atlanta with me, I feel like was the biggest thing that ever, because had he not moved with me, we definitely wouldn't be together. That just wouldn't be a thing. But it definitely showed me another aspect of him that I knew that he really loved me in that moment. I'm like, okay, he will literally leave everything just for me to be happy and have what I needed, because everyone knows like my career is very important to me. So me even applying for the job, when I was applying to different locations, he was always the main person supporting me. Like, okay, fuck it. Charlotte, let's apply for Charlotte. I interviewed in Dallas. I interviewed in Atlanta. So I was interviewing multiple places, and every single location I would talk to him like, okay, what do you feel about this place? What do you feel about this place? And it never was like, oh, I don't really want to live there. I don't want to be this far. It never was about him. It was always just like, this is what you want to do. I support you. And I'm like, okay. So made the decision to move. And that, to me, it just spoke volumes about him. And I'm like, okay, I could see this going long distance, because I knew, I'm like, this is something that is extremely important to me. I cannot be with somebody who doesn't support my career. Now, of course, like we have kids, we have a kid. So like outlook on life is a little bit different. I'm not as like career hungry as I used to be, because naturally shit just changes. So it's just like, okay, but I know if it was a situation where I wanted to go full throttle, I know that he would support it.
Yeah. Well, I think that this is a perfect segue.
It's just so many things.
Because I can answer, I think Sierra, one of y'all had a question of like, okay, what do you have to work on for you? And I don't think, no, Sierra, I didn't tell you. So I shot my from the other day. Yes. So
shot that shit from half court.
So he posted he posted a picture of himself, and he was like in a uniform. I'm like, you fix leaks? I was like, do you fix leaks? So he was like, yeah, I do. And sent the eyes, and I was like, LMAO, this is the perfect time to like ask, are you single? And he was like, God, I hope somebody's not listening to this. But he was like, no, I'm not single. I was like, damn, forget it. Like, my bad. He was like, yo, where were you when I was single? So I was like, I was single. What do you mean? Like, I was single too. So I went through my DMs, and he really was shooting his shot since like 2014. Like, this whole time he posted me for my birthday last year, and it wasn't. Now you know he fine.
I
It
was going to say
wasn't the situation.
Michelle.
I know. I think that with everything that has particularly transpired, the time, like, I knew that he would try to talk to me when he was in college, but I think in the past 5 years, it was like in phases. In the beginning, I was kind of jaded, and I was like, no, like, I know I'm ready to date, but like, I don't even know how to even start there. And then it was just like, are you really interested in me? In general, men, like, are you really interested in me if you don't take me out? Like, how do I know you're really interested? And still being jaded, because you could say one thing and not really mean it. So I think he just caught me at a very bad time. And in college, you know his personality. I just thought he was joking all the time, like, just being nice. I had no idea. I think that when he was going hard in my DMs, though, I think that over time I've gotten to the point where it's like, you tell me I'm pretty and you like sliding my DMs, commenting on stuff, is not showing interest to me. And I had to think, like, okay, Michelle, why does everything have to be grand? Like, do you
It has
not
to
know
be
how to
an
feel bad?
introduction somewhere.
Yes. And that's how I felt. But also I was like, you have a problem. And you can be the aggressor, not even aggressor. You think that by you saying what you want, if you are interested, you're being aggressive. It's not aggressive. You can say what you want. And I'm so used to not having a choice in things. I'm so used to just somebody coming to me that it is uncomfortable for me to flirt. I will admit that. It is uncomfortable for me. So like, me just doing that alone was a big deal. I was like, damn, it didn't work out the way I wanted it to. I have a problem with disappointment. That needs to be checked before I go into a relationship, because everything's not gonna always be perfect. So yeah, this weekend I definitely have been like evaluating a lot, because I realized that it's not just the situation, right? Like, he's in a relationship, good luck to them, and I'm not gonna die because that didn't work out. Like, whatever. It was also It started off as a joke. Like, I was like, oh, let me just see what happened. I think for the most part though, I need to be more aggressive about what I want. And in my rap on the last episode, I said, I'm picky. I be choosing. I'm a chooser. You know that I'll be choosing. I can do that. Like, look at me. I can choose. I don't have to wait to be chosen. And yeah, I think that will probably make for a better dating experience. But it was very, I thought about it literally every second this weekend. I was just like, that's a problem for you. You really need to like tap back in and recognize who the fuck you are. Now, granted, y'all gonna laugh, but I have already chosen who my husband is going to be in my head, and I'm just waiting for God to choose who my husband will be. Now, once we agree upon a person, once we meet in the middle, like y'all said, we'll be fine. But I think that these experiences have definitely like taught me something about myself and about things that just need to be checked, because I cannot just grin and bear it. I can't be a grin and bear it.
Exactly. Like, that's really what it boils down to at the end of the day. I think a lot is less about the other person and it's more about you. It's like, okay, I can't expect another person to show up flawlessly in a relationship when I know for certain I got my own shit going on. That's not where it needs to be.
Yeah.
So how can I be a good spouse? How can I be a good partner to anybody if I can't get my own shit together? And even as things come out in different spaces, take that as how you show up in other shit. So in this one, it's like, it kind of, for me, like I told you, it's like, it clearly says, okay, you're ready now. at least to put yourself out there. Like sometimes you gotta shoot from half court. You might not make it, but when you do,
right, doesn't mean don't try to shoot again.
Yeah,
Shoot again.
Yo, Teray was like,
because like, why would you wait all of this time? Like, girl, the writing was on the motherfucking wall. All you had to do was say.
That's why with this particular person, I was shocked because I'm like, Michelle, why are you acting like this hasn't been a thing since it was a thing?
Funny. I didn't pick up on it. I don't know how I didn't pick up. I thought they were just.
Oh, but when I say that,
oh my God.
Okay. You know what? We're not gonna make this about me.
No, let's not bring this back into you because you knew that he liked your ass. It's the difference. Michelle thought he was joking.
He supposed to enjoy your birthday, bitch. That nigga was not joking.
Yeah,
from 2014 until now, babe, he was not joking. Michelle. And you was just like, I don't know what was going through your head, but it was wrong. Wrong.
So now when people say like, have you ever fumbled somebody?
Fumbled the bag.
That's hilarious. It's like
But don't you think that it's okay? Not to be all.
Well, I don't feel like I fumbled because I feel like
I wouldn't say fumble.
It's not like you wanted him and you lost.
And you never know. I mean,
you didn't have it.
Yeah,
I feel like
that's different.
Well, I feel like during that time period, you just weren't ready. So no matter what, it wasn't going to ever be received and worked. You weren't ready for it. Mm-hmm. So now,
mm-hmm. Well, not only that, there was other entities.
That's what I'm saying. You just weren't ready
as well.
It's kind of like a whole lot brewing.
But to be fair, I think a lot of times men, the jokey joke approach don't really work, babes. Like, yes, I want you to be a comedian when we're together and make me laugh, but I want you to be serious about me getting the field and compete for the love of, the girl.
Yeah. But I wonder what my problem is because not in like there's something wrong. It just came off like that. I didn't mean that. But even when I was in high school, I was like talking to this guy, and then like we were friends, and he was very present when I was pregnant. Like when I say friends, like he was very sweet. Like he made sure I was good. And after that, we had a conversation. Like after I had Mia. And he was like, it really broke my heart, that you got engaged and stuff like that. And I'm kind of over it because you're not engaged anymore. Like, Mia's here. And he was like, I just could never tell. We will always exchange, like, I love yous, like, but in a friendly way. And he was like, I just thought that we kind of, like, have passed that point, that you didn't like me like that anymore. Sweetest person ever. To this day, that's my dog. But I'm like, am I that hard to read? Because I thought I was a lover girl. How am I so hard? Because how did you not know I was like?
Maybe you're a lover girl once you're already in that phase of Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it's okay, but how are we supposed to get there if you like are hesitant about everything? Like
you answered your own question,
but I feel like you answered your own thing because you said in your mind, if it's not grandiose, then you don't see it. So sometimes it's not always going to be.
Hey, it's not going to be Grand's biscuits all the time. Like sometimes it's not going to be that. So how you respond?
It's not going to be.
So how do you respond when it's not that? If it's not grand, then what?
Honestly, sometimes the slow burn is the best burn.
I'm learning that now. I don't like the idea of burn, but I'm learning that because, and I really hope that he's not listening to this episode today. But earlier, like, I'm not gonna say earlier in the year because it wasn't like it didn't happen instantly, but I think that over a particular time period, I was just like, you have to start acting like you know what you want, and you don't want to just be casually dating. Like, you want to find your person and being more intentional. It was like a light bulb just went off, and like everything made sense. I was disgusted with people. It was easier to just say, yeah, no, we're done here, like, and walk away. And now I'm kind of just, I know what I want. And I recently was very vocal about that. And I don't know how we got here. I'm going to shut up before I get myself in trouble. Oh, so like if he's listening to this, which hopefully he does not listen to this podcast, he stays in men's business. Yeah,
Oh my
Hopefully he
God,
learned something
Sierra, the
from this
girl is
and can
listening.
learn it.
Finally, it's clicking, Steven. It's clicking.
I think it also, I have to be safe. I have to feel safe. In my last relationship, I did not feel safe. Everything, I felt like I had to defend myself. I feel like I had to fight. Like, I did fight. I just want to be safe. I want to feel safe, and I haven't felt that in a long time. So, like, I feel safe now.
It's
and
okay.
I'm scared.
It's okay to be scared. Yes.
It is scary. It is scary.
It's so many unpredictable parts of something, and I still feel safe. That is the scary part. There's so many things that are unpredictable, and you feel safe.
Because life
why am
in
I shooting my
itself is
shot at somebody?
Because I feel
Why
like
am I still shooting my shot at somebody?
it's a safe
Technically, I'm
within
single,
yourself.
but-
It's not. It don't. A lot of shit don't have nothing to do with other people. Because once you know that you can walk away, I'm out of here from a situation that doesn't serve me. Especially when it's just like, we just getting to know each other. Why am I bounding myself to you as if this is some kind of a commitment when it's not? We haven't even gotten to the possibility of that point. So I can dip, and you don't have to stifle or suffocate yourself and your own feelings for somebody else. You know that you can walk away.
Yeah. I think that also, that goes back to like, what do you have to do before you get in a relationship? And I think that as the person who, I feel like I've been like single as an adult. Yeah, I've been the only one of us three who's like been single as an adult. I think before, I used to feel not sad in comparison to like my friends in relationships, right? But I used to feel like I'm a mom before I'm a wife. Like, damn. I did, and I carried around some sense of shame because that was never my plan. And also, I felt like it put me at a disadvantage for like the pool of people delusional. Not sure why I thought that, because people, they be saying that nobody want to be a stepdaddy, but the stepdaddies is outside.
Heavy.
But back to my original point, I think that being single and dating or dealing, talking, whatever, has also given me an opportunity to figure out what I like and I don't like, or what I want and I don't want. And I have, these case studies that I've dealt with has really taught me. It has really taught me, like, I can't, like, a number of things, but like most of all, I cannot be with somebody who is emotionally available. And I had to figure out, okay, girl, why are you attracting men that are emotionally unavailable? And it's like, okay, well, maybe they're not emotionally unavailable. They just require some emotional maintenance. And because they see you and they know that you can offer that. But I am not a fixer of people who are temporarily in my life. There are things that I can fix with my partner, but that is going to be something mutual. I'm not going to continuously pour from an empty cup. So I think that this time of being single has taught me, yes, you're a giver, you're a lover, you want to do, but you need somebody who is also a giver, a lover, and someone who wants to do, so that y'all can do that for each other. Not pour yourself empty and have a bald spot in the middle of your head at 30. Like, no, we're not doing that. We're not stressing anymore. I am not going to give more of myself to someone who is not giving anything to me. So I'm grateful for the years of being single. I think that it has prepared me to be ready to receive love. And I think that it's hard also to be here, because it's like, damn, I've gotten to the point in dating that I was like, damn, I'm just like the filler for people. Because I look around, I'm like, damn, I dated this person, they engaged now. Dated this person, they married now. Dated this person, they in a relationship, or they in their third relationship now. And it's not a good feeling. It's really not. But then I also know, like, I feel like I am now prepared to be the happiest I've ever been.
That's really what it is. It's just like, everybody is each other's stepping stones. Everybody. It sounds crazy.
It sounds
but
crazy,
it is. It's just like,
but
even though like maybe being with you
truth.
prepared them for the relationships they're in now, but you being with them is preparing you for the relationship you're going to go into. It's all the same thing. Everybody is every person that you come across, everybody is a lesson in life. Good, bad, ugly. They're all just lessons for everybody to move on to the next phase. So it's not It's not a bad thing, but things happen
Mhm.
in a time frame that they're actually supposed to.
New experiences.
Yeah, so it's like,
I honestly feel like if I would have stayed in the relationship that I was in, I would not have self-esteem. I would not have I would not have my friends anymore. Like, I feel like that was the ending was like the beginning of me just being better for me.
Mhm.
So I believe that stepping stone part, like, of course it did not have to be that dramatic and it did not have to happen that way. But like, I've oftentimes found myself being like, thank you God for stopping it.
Mhm.
Like, thank you, I did not have what I thought I wanted.
all shade.
Listen,
Oh
didn't
my
Beyonce
gosh.
say best thing I never had?
And that's
Mhm.
really,
Mm.
I'm about to
that's
shout
really
amen.
what it is. And I just feel like even like after you find your person, y'all move forward, there's always going to be some kind of maintenance. It's not a one size fits all. It's not like, oh, we did all of these things and now what? And I'm also not a person that believes that you have to go through like traumatic shit in order to figure out if you love or struggle. Like,
Or struggle
I don't believe
love.
that you have to go through
Yes.
those kind of things. Like, yes, there should be certain things
Yeah.
that test your relationship. And like, I think even if you look at the biggest things of why people get
Mhm.
divorced, most people get divorced from money. So it's just like, okay, let's tackle this. Let's
Mhm.
discuss this in its entirety. What's your credit score? Where are we? You good with money? Bad with money? Not to say that you can't marry somebody who has bad credit, because everything can be improved, but you need to know what you're dealing with. If you are a person that,
Yeah, I'm going in.
yeah,
and
like if
I
you
got student
know
loans.
that finances, that's not really your strong suit, y'all need to have that conversation. So like, let's figure out financially where we at
Yeah,
in order to be able.
yeah.
And it's not like it's an easy conversation to have all
You
the
have
time.
you
but
have
you
to.
have to do it if you're going to
Yeah.
progress
Yeah,
in that type of
I'm not
relationship.
necessarily one of those people that
Yeah.
believe that, oh, you need to get cheated on to know if your relationship can withstand that. No, we don't necessarily have to go through that.
Child.
Is that a
Yeah.
that doesn't have to be the marker. Does that happen in
Like,
relationships? Sure.
sorry.
Do you have like what you
Yeah.
feel like you would do? Okay, you'll never really know until that opportunity presents itself. But you don't necessarily have, now we got to go through this in order for us to be married. Now we could, some shit we really can leave to the side. We don't have to. We just have to know, okay, what's your thought process? What's your mindset when it comes to this topic? And even as y'all grow and mature, let's revisit this conversation. Okay, that was your mindset 2 years ago. What's your mindset right now? Because even me personally, like the way that I looked out on like my outlook on things when I was younger, it's completely different from right now. It's just like I have way more experience and way more just like
never stop
just way
evolving.
more like understanding of shit and life and people. So it's just like, okay, now I gotta change my thought process on things. I still have to, like, even right now how I operate in marriage, there be shit that I gotta work on my fucking self that I really be trying so hard to work on, because I know me. I know when I get overly stressed, when I get worried, I know that it affects every other part of my life. Every single part of my life. I can't put it down. I can't hide it. You see it on my face. I got so many fucking gray hairs right now. Girl, it's just, girl, a whole, I feel like a whole patch over here. It's like, what the, I'm like, here's another one and another one and another one. I'm like, oh no, baby, you got to do something, because my stress load, my unhappiness, if I'm anxious about something, if I'm feeling depressed, it affects every single aspect of my life. And it's just like, I had to figure out, okay, how do I respond? And that was the biggest thing. It's like, okay, you need to change the way that you respond, because you're never going to get rid of stress. There's always going to be some kind of factor that stresses you. Yes, certain aspects you're like, okay, I got to remove this portion of my life. We got to drop that. We can't do that no more. But for me personally, I have to constantly work on the way that I respond to shit, because it doesn't just affect me, it affects everybody around me. I'm like, now we get in an argument, because really, I'm not mad at you. I'm just being a bitch, because I'm not even thinking about you. I'm just upset at all this other shit, and I'm just so happening to take it out on you. That's why he bald now and can't grow no more hair.
Is that why?
You know what?
But yeah, like it's like one of those things. It's like I know that I want to be a good wife to my husband, so I have to constantly be like, okay, bitch, you're the problem. I'm the problem.
How are we
So
gonna fix
I
this?
should work on this shit.
Mhm.
So that way I am no longer,
But
at least in this
so-
area, I ain't the problem in this
Like
area.
that, y'all. She said so.
And then we can move on
Mm.
to other things. It's just a constant,
I'm
not
proud
even,
of
I don't
you.
want to say
Yeah.
battle, but it's a constant thing of just being self-aware.
Mm-hmm.
I
Yeah.
remember the first time you said something about self-awareness to me, and I was like, oh, really? I was like, good job. I don't know what it was about, but you were just like, yeah, it's me, and I'm gonna fix this. And I was like, damn, I can't. The marriage is beautiful. To just decide to abandon all the things that you thought were right in the interest of the person that you love, and it all works out. Because that is
Mhm.
actually not a trait that you need to carry. Like, to make that decision about somebody else, love them that much to do that, I was like, that is beautiful. Even though I was thinking that I wasn't going to say it to you because I'm not going to get cursed out, but I'm
Whatever.
glad.
But
you
I mean, I
came
think
to
it's just,
the realization.
I
That's beautiful.
feel like I had to have like a lot of like hard conversations just with myself. And sometimes it really boils down to, okay, how much do you love this person? What are you willing to do? How uncomfortable are you willing to get to make shit better for your person? Because in a lot of instances, and I think that's the conversation.
Mm-hmm. And honestly, yourself too, because it's like
I feel like
a
it's
lot
the
of
conversation
times-
that Michelle was referring to. Sometimes I got to be like, okay, there's been more instances than that he has proven how much he loves me in comparison to me. So it's like, okay, what you willing to do? So it's like, all right, fuck it. I gotta acknowledge, okay, he has put in the work.
Yeah.
Now, bitch, it's your turn. Do it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, all right, well, here the fuck we go.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Here we
Saddle
go.
up, life.
Yeah, I'm excited.
She over there
So
daydreaming.
why
She
you got
doing
that
like
stupid
Michelle
grin on
do. She
your
over there
face?
playing it
'Cause I'm
2 years from now in her head.
I'm
Planning her
so
right.
excited. No, and cause like y'all, I don't know how to say this in a way on the podcast because I just mentioned that, I just shot my shot. But like, just after making a decision, having other conversations, with a person, it's just like, yeah. Everything
I
y'all
can
are
see this.
saying,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, everything that y'all are saying about like putting stuff to the side, like even for me, I think we had a conversation and I was like, the reason why I wouldn't do this is ego and pride. And they're like, you should have pride, you should have ego. I understand that. But if you don't want to, we can make a compromise. Let's talk about what a compromise look like. And I'm like, for me, the fuck?
Mm-hmm.
Are you sure? And I've been asking, are you sure for months? Which is why I have never locked in. It's been, I'm going to date this one. I'm going to see this one on Tuesday. And I am sure is like the biggest issue. Like, I am always asking, are you sure? Because I'm so used to like feeling like somebody's not sure about me. So that might be the last infinity stone. Maybe it's not an infinity stone, but that might be the last barrier to kick down. Like, just let it happen.
Mm-hmm.
People
Sometimes you really just have to kind of go with it.
And I think I got this grin, like not even for a particular person, but just knowing like you are ready. And when it does happen, you'll are now ready in a place to attract the right kind of love.
It's gonna come to you and smack you in the fucking face. So hopefully that's grand enough for you.
Right.
Slap me in the forehead.
Grand rising hoe.
Grains biscuits. Ooh, child, this is too much. Too much lovey-dovey shit for one day. I need some gangster rap.
Yeah, bro. I just sit here and thought, I'm like, damn,
I
what else could I be doing better in my life and in my marriage? That's what I'll be thinking about. Not every day, but like often.
It will matter.
Yeah.
It's the shit is just like nothing is 50-50.
I was going to say that. I feel like at no point in a relationship is it 50-50 at the same time. I think Trey and I even had this conversation before. Sometimes in a relationship, one person's doing a little bit more. And sometimes a couple years later, that person might be doing a little bit more. It's never 50-50 at the same time. I think what makes it 50-50 is the mindset and the willingness to come to the table and say, hey, I'm going to do what I need to do so that we're successful in this unit.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the word of the day. Okay.
Mhm.
I wonder what part 2 of this conversation is going to be about now. I feel like we covered so much. We might have to listen to it and dissect and figure out what we need to expand upon.
Yeah, because I
also feel like the people are confused because they like, is Michelle in love? Or is
Yeah.
Find out next time
on the next episode of Dragon Ball Z. You'll find out.
Uh-huh.
I don't listen. I feel like it's a very tricky thing, but I feel like a lot of people are getting married now, at least people that I know. So the conversations that need to be had. But anyhow, that's all I got for today.
Yeah. All right.
Another one in the fucking books.
Sayonara,
Thank you guys for listening, and we see y'all hoes in the next one.